Hey, this is Notser, and this is the Tier 4 Premium Japanese cruiser Yubari. It has 4 140mm guns, 4 torpedoes, 22 defense rating, a surface detect of 9.6 kilometers, top speed 34.5 knots, total health 18,300. For my modules, increase aiming effectiveness, reduce the chance of flood and fire. For my commander, situation awareness, faster torpedo rearm, and superintendent. We are on the map Big Race, and we're going to cover the 2 bullet points of that intro. Firstly, the aiming mod. The aiming modification 0, as it is in game, is a very unique item. It only applies to 140mm guns, and there are 3 Japanese cruisers that can equip it. That's it. They're all premium, or they're very rare, like alpha rare. So they just created a super item that will compensate for the lack of power in this particular ship. It has better accuracy on the guns, the torpedo systems are better, the turret traverse is better. I mean, it's got like 6 things associated with it. I couldn't possibly list it all off correctly. Just know that pretty much everything to do with the power of the ship has been buffed. Main guns, secondary guns, torpedo systems, you name it, it's stronger because of this particular module. And again, this module is only available to 140mm gun Japanese cruisers, and they're all premium. This is probably the most reasonable one that you have access to, but you're not going to run into it that often. Also, don't get torpedo rearm. This is a destroyer captain, and I'm trying to train him. I didn't really care. I just wanted to bring it in. I didn't want to be perceived as always stacking the deck for me. So we're going to be in a game with a less than ideal build. I want to see how effective we can be. Now, this ship is interesting. It has access to defensive fire. Not a lot of defensive fires, though. Since I have superintendent, I actually get 2. The default is 1. I could get a 3rd if I got the consumable, but I don't really want to spend that kind of credits on a Tier 4 premium. Now, the enemy aircraft carrier, he tries to drop his torpedoes. This ship is pretty maneuverable, so I'm just going to fit myself right in between them all, not run into them at all. I slow down. The enemy tries to engage, and conveniently, as we were slowing down to avoid the torpedoes, he missed his shot. But I got to focus. The game so far, we're down, and I have been very ineffective. This ship is very interesting. It basically has what I would equate to Japanese destroyer guns, or a little bit more powerful. And it doesn't really have the best rate of fire. It doesn't really do that amount of damage that you would expect. It's a very interesting ship. And when I mean interesting, it's underpowered. Let's be real. And I'm going to engage the enemy Myogi. The enemy Myogi looks to have the upgraded hull. He's not rocking the A hull. It's probably the C hull. But there's an enemy Clemson on the way, and I would much prefer to engage a destroyer. I'm like a slightly larger destroyer, so I should be able to do pretty good damage against him as long as I can hit my shots, and you can see the accuracy of the guns. That is associated with that particular module that was introduced in 0.5.7. Now, is this the direction they would go for maybe a premium buff? Possibly, because it is an item that is buffed. They can take it away technically without having people maybe refund the item because they're going into a situation where the power of the ship isn't associated with the ship itself. I don't know if that's their solution, but it's a really weird item. It sits in a slot that generally just provides crit protection to main battery or torpedo systems. Not that you would ever use that over this item. This item is, it's priceless. It's so powerful. And we're engaging the Clemson at range. He's set on fire. It's not an easy shot, of course, and I bump into the edge of the map. And I'm trying to help finish him off. The fire is on the target, but how long is it going to last on the target? I just need to hit one salvo, and he should be dead. And we're just... oh, we're so close, millimeters away from hitting his ship. The enemy battleship is defeated. Oh, this looks good. There we go. Enemy Clemson taken out. Oh, convenient, an enemy Minikaze has shown up. And I'm going to engage him, of course. He's about the same distance that the Clemson was at the end of his life. It's still not an easy shot. These destroyers are just so tiny. And I don't put a lot of shells out there. Four guns, that's it. It's much more reasonable for me to hit, you know, maybe a Kuma. Because the Kuma, at least, is larger, it's slower, and it can't really maneuver as well. Now, look at this torpedo arc. It is very narrow. It's always been narrow. This has never changed. And it only has 4 total torpedoes, 2 per launcher. So, in order to hit this, I really have to understand that the player is not changing his direction. Maybe he is not aware of the threat that's coming. Oh, he got a Citadel. I felt like that's a Citadel. 6,200. We're trying to reorient our angle so he can't penetrate. And look, he fits right in between my torpedoes. I swapped to AP, hoping to do exactly what he did to me. I mean, we're both tier 4 cruisers. We both probably lack a lot of armor, and he certainly took a Citadel that knocked out his propulsion there, and oh, he's gone. But so far, this ship isn't very impressive, right? Yeah, it's I don't think it's ever been good, quite honestly. It came in with the Gremyashi, and of course, you can't compare. It's probably got a 15%, 20% spread on its win rate compared to that ship. I mean, it's pretty bad. You're going from a ship that has 62, 64% win rate to a ship that probably is lucky to break 40%, 43%. It's just such a weak ship. And in my opinion, the buffs are nice, but I think the weakest part of it is you're playing down at low tier, you don't really have a lot of penetration, you don't have a lot of guns, so you can't miss your shot. Yeah, sure, I'm hitting shots. I have probably higher than average accuracy. I think that's fair to say. So, for me, this ship is pretty average, but I hit more shots than I miss compared to most of the population. I wouldn't recommend someone targeting this ship for purchase. It's just a little bit too quirky to me. The torpedo systems are really hard to use. Really hard to use. I mean, I've probably hit 10 total torpedoes in the entire existence of the game in this ship. Because that torpedo arc requires that you're basically broadside to your target. And you never want to be broadside to a target that could wipe you out. Like an enemy battleship. And the enemy battleship is within range. I was curious though, what was detecting me, right? It can't be the battleship. There's a huge island chain in the way. It must be the destroyer, the lone destroyer for the enemy team. Where could he be? While that destroyer is doing his thing, I'm going to focus on trying to get some fires on the target. And yes, we do. We get a fire on the target. Oh, doesn't matter. Minikaze, that's the only thing that matters. Of course, there's a Phoenix in the background that I'd really like to kill. He does sort of move within range. Oh man, that lead. A little bit too much lead, right? But that's okay. We can kill the Phoenix while the enemy destroyer is hiding behind the island. I only need probably, 2 or 3 shells to make... Oh man. Wow. That was close. Interesting. The destroyer, he's going to the right side of that island based on his positioning, left side on mine. And again, nobody can engage me, so I need to engage the Phoenix. Oh, we hit 500. We only need, 2 shells? 3 shells? Oh, we hit again, but not enough to kill him. He's 600. And I think this enemy destroyer is a skilled player. He's got 3 kills. I think he underestimates me. I think he doesn't know who I am. If he doesn't, that's okay. I just think he's looking like, oh, this is an easy kill. We're just going to find an easy situation where I can send my torpedoes and take him out. Nice! We take out the Phoenix. We needed that. Because we have, what, 3 enemy ships within range. I have to work on them one by one. The enemy Arpeggio ship, he misses. And the enemy destroyer, of course, is going to use his smoke. He's out in the open, but he's still moving towards me. He does not respect. And look how accurate these shells are. He could not have picked a worse position against this particular ship. This ship has probably the best accuracy of any ship in the game that I've seen. It will hit all the time in the same spots. The weakness is the amount of guns, and I really do want to stress that. The amount of guns is difficult, but against a destroyer that's trying to be thin as a blade, it's very easy to hit that blade. The battleship, thankfully, hasn't hit every shot they needed to. I'm out in the open. I can't really do anything. The only thing I can hope that he is less accurate than me and trying to stay as neutral as possible to his ship will assist me. And I just want to make sure this guy's dead. I hope he burns down. Please burn down. And I think that's actually my fire. It is my fire. Nice. Here we go. This ship is so small, but that doesn't really mean I want to play as this ship. It's just a challenge, right? And we're just going to try and trade a little bit of damage. Hopefully we can light him up. But pretty much every salvo is going to do 700, if that. And he is looking at us. I don't want to show too much of my side. Oh, here he comes. Here he comes. Go neutral. Go neutral. Got to do as well as we can. Yep. Cool. Cool. And oh, here comes some more. Whoa, that was close. That shell hit the water. So close to our ship. But we're still alive. We haven't taken any extra damage from him. And now our team is actually ahead. There we go. The first fire against the enemy Hanuna. And he's going to take a torpedo strike, which will be great. I don't know if he has damage control. I assume he has damage control, and he's just waiting it out for the fire. But if the torpedo hits, causes a flood, it'll force out damage control, and then we can also follow up. And it looks like he doesn't want to try and fire on me again. He's missed probably 3 salvos. That's got to be really frustrating. That's over a minute of effort on a single ship and doing almost no damage. He's going to try, yep, he's going to go after the friendly aircraft carrier that's trying to hide in the corner of the map. Not the best place to be when there's a battleship that's probably 7-8 kilometers away from you. I would say that's fair. And oh no, we've got enemy torpedo bombers, and they are not going after the friendly cruiser right next to me. It looks like they want to go for me. Yes, indeed. The defensive fire's up. It's made it all inaccurate. We're able to avoid one, and I'm trying to look and avoid the other. Plus, there's a dive bomber incoming. Here he comes. Looks like we'll be able to fit past the torpedo before it catches us. And finally, the dive bomber overhead. Super inaccurate. It's a Japanese dive bomber, so they don't get as much protection from the defensive fire as an American dive bomber or a torpedo bomber. And somehow, this guy has gained 3,000 life. I've got to try and work on him. The friendly aircraft carrier is still alive, thankfully, but trying to avoid all of the aircraft. Nobody on my team has done damage to this guy, so we got to start it up again. And the best thing you can try and hope for when you're in this ship is a fire. I think that's, oh, nice. Actually, 1,500 is pretty good. Is he going to avoid the torpedo? No, he's not. Oh, man, we missed with our salvo. Are we going to give up the kill? Oh, man. 239. Let's go at it again. I think I missed again. Nope, nope, we hit him. Okay. Whew. If you can't tell, this ship is a real chore, and I just wanted to show it off. A recent version with the new modules. I would highly push anyone away from trying to purchase this ship. There are so many better premium ships that you should buy than this ship. I really stress that. It's a unique ship, but I would not touch this with a 10-foot pole. I got this ship because I bought the 3-pack when you could pre-order the Sims, Yubari, and of course the Gremyashi, but they're never going to sell that again. It's way too powerful, but if they did, you should buy it. It's really good. And I thought that no, he actually still had it. Wow. I thought he dropped his bombs already. That could have ended me right there. And that was a little sneaky attack. Oh, that was way too close. But look how the teams are situated. 2 enemy aircraft carriers versus 2 cruisers and an aircraft carrier. And if I die, they have a lead. And I just don't trust my team to come back. I mean, based on what I'm seeing, they're not going to have the ability. So I have to live through this torpedo strike. And I used my strategy. I sailed towards the healthier version, and I relied on my AA to sort of knock out the less healthy squadron. Thankfully, we had just enough to stop before the torpedoes really were an issue there. It was close, but it wasn't that close, right? We've got this in the bag. We have an idea of where one of the aircraft carriers are, of course. He could have sent his returning airship to go off into a corner and then double back, but I don't think so. I think there's an enemy aircraft carrier that is running the eastern border, and he's going to try and attack me at least one more time. There's 3 minutes left. There's probably 2 rearm cycles left in those aircraft. And again, we cannot die. We have to live. There's just no way, right? There's no way the St. Louis and the friendly aircraft carrier have what it takes to find and destroy the enemy aircraft carriers. We are the fighting force. Now, as I was headed over to the eastern side of the map, I was hoping that I would run into the aircraft carrier almost immediately. It's probably got a detection range of 10, 15 kilometers. And someone who has died recently, I believe that's the aircraft carrier, he says, get the base. And I go, yeah, you're probably right. If we get the base and we sit on it, we're not going to capture it. I mean, there's 2 minutes left. St. Louis is so far away from getting into the enemy base, it's just not going to happen. But if we can sit on it... Oh, wait a minute. We don't need to sit on anything. We can just kill the Langley and win the game outright. And that's what I'm going to do. But if the Langley wasn't there, you could sit on the capture point and deny the tick rate until the enemy team had to get more than 1 kill to win the game. And Langley, super slow, no armor whatsoever. I'm going to swap to AP, shoot at the waterline, hoping to get a Citadel or 2. And the accuracy will hold true. These guns are accurate. It's just they don't do a lot of damage. And we do get a Citadel. Cool. Is he going to hit the torpedoes? I think he's going to hit the torpedoes. Yeah, yep. At least 2. Yep, he's taken out. And that's basically locked it up. The enemy aircraft carrier, he chose to go for the friendly aircraft carrier. Or maybe I would have done that. But then again, he's probably like, this dang Yubari. He is able to avoid all my attacks. And I could understand that being frustrating, but the St. Louis doesn't really have AA protection. It's very slow. It should be pretty easy to hit. But hey, I'm not complaining. You get to see a video on the Yubari, probably one of the rarest ships in the game, partly because it's not really good, and partly because it hasn't been sold in a year, and I don't know if it's on sale right now, but I heard this and The Sims are going to be on sale at some point, right? But whatever. So there's 20 seconds left. My only hope, get in range, maybe get a detonation of the enemy aircraft carrier, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen, right? The time to target is just too great. But we were able to help the team win the game, and I never thought I would say that about the Yubari. I thought, okay, let's just get a game, show off the module, and then that's that. They won't mind, and it turned out pretty good. 4 kills. I'd say that's pretty good considering the power of this ship. So, of course, 4 kills, 8 fires, a Citadel, 1,605 base XP, and we did around 56,000 points of damage. And I would say that's well above the average for that ship. But that's not the only video for today. We have another mid-tier ship. This is the Tier 5 Arpeggio Blue Steel Congo class battleship. She has 8 356mm guns, 22 secondary guns, 34 defense rating, a surface detect of 16.2 kilometers top speed, 30 knots, total health 54,100. For my modules, reduce crit chance on main armament, improved aiming systems, reduce the chance of flood and fire. For my commander, situation awareness, basic survivability, faster turret traverse, and superintendent. We are on the map Strait, and you might be asking, why another arpeggio? Well, something changed with this particular ship in 0.5.7. They got the original voice actress from the series to voice for this particular ship. And I really appreciate that because she's more intimidating than Iona. So hopefully you caught that. It's definitely her, at least it sounds like her, and that's really cool that Wargaming are continuing to try and move towards an authentic version of these ships. I really want nationalistic. I want to hear Russians talk about vodka, bears, and snow. I want to hear the Brits talk about tea, queen, and country, you know. All of these things. Well, actually, it wouldn't be queen. It would be king. I'm aware. You people, it's so sneaky to have an HMS and you can just swap in his or her, right? Yeah. His Majesty, Her Majesty. Yeah, you guys are sneaky, okay? But that sort of thing adds flavor to the factions, and it's great that they're continuing to get voice work for the arpeggio. I just want them to bring in some voice work for the more standard factions, you know, the Japanese, the Americans, the Brits, the Russians, the Germans. As far as this game is concerned, I'm trying to support the push on B, and hopefully we could take A. The nice thing about Congo battleships, and this applies to all of them, they have 21.2 kilometer range guns at tier 5. I mean, it's just like a dream. And it's especially a dream now that I can actually hit long range shots. And we're trying to take out the Murmansk. He is being annoying, though. He is trying his best to survive, but there's no way you can move outside of my range. You would basically be off the map before I would lose range with you, and I will not let up. At least right now. If something comes closer that is a bigger threat, then I will definitely focus on that target. And I just need one good citadel. Just give me one good citadel, Murmansk. Come on, make a mistake. Okay, we overshot. That's okay. The back guns are still rotating. Oh, did you catch sight of that? Enemy destroyer is over by B. The only enemy destroyer is over by B. And I have an island in the way, so I still got to focus on this. If we could take this guy out, it really is important. I sort of see what people say about me, right? Oh, you play super high tier and you've got buffed up commanders. Well, I am successful. What can I say? I don't really play the game without at least skill 3. That's just the way it works. And oh, I think this is it. I think he's made the mistake of showing too much of his side. Can we get him? Take him down? Yeah! There he goes. And Congo is very happy. It's really weird to say that, right? Congo is happy? I just don't associate Congo with a female, but she is Congo. It's sort of a female representation of the ship. That's what the show does, okay? You're like, oh, why are you calling it a she? Technically, it is a she, okay? And we're going to engage the Nuremberg, and the Nuremberg is moving away. So I needed to elevate my gun a little bit more. We only hit one shell, did very little damage, but we're doing okay over here. We have captured B and A as a team. The enemy destroyer somehow got out of B. And this enemy Phoenix, he's really low. I'm going to try and assist in the destruction of the Phoenix. I think he's flooding out, and I didn't really recognize that. Oh. We got another citadel, didn't need it. Quite honestly, probably didn't need me helping at all, and I didn't notice. He's dead. At least the team could focus on other targets. I'm going to fire on the New York initially, but then I was like, whoa. The Nuremberg, look at the new, oh, nice, 67, that's not bad. The Nuremberg is showing a perfect broadside, and he's not full speed, so I don't lead him at a 1.5 that I would recommend. I just lead him a little bit, and we get 10,000 points of damage in a citadel. he's going to be able... No, he's not going to get anywhere. I was going to say, he's going to be able to get away from the torpedoes. The New York is not. He's going to take at least one torpedo. Wow! Can you believe how lucky he is? That torpedo stopped centimeters away from his hull. That was so close. I'm not crazy, right? That was so close. Either way, we're going to work on him. We did about 6K between the front and the back guns, I think, which is all right. I mean, we're really far away. There's no way we're going to be a target for a while. We just have to hit our shots to justify this kind of distance, and I need to work closer, you know. I always harp on battleship captains that stay a little bit too far out of the fight. And this is the exact example that would work against my theory. It's like, yeah, sure, you got 21 knots. 21 kilometers even. You have 21 kilometers with a range, but who cares? Your teammates are taking all the damage. So I need to fix this. I'm going to try and work as well as I can close to the target. The angle is not ideal. I need to elevate the gun a little bit. I need to plunge down onto his deck. I can't have it hitting the side of his ship. It's going to ricochet off because the plunge is pretty fair, I'd say. But this looks much better. Oh yeah, 5K, and sorry for that pause there, it was a little weird. 5K is not bad at that angle, and I think he's going to be killed by the friendlies, and that will be sort of payback for my Phoenix kill. I don't think I deserve the Phoenix kill, and quite honestly, he didn't need me to assist in the Phoenix kill, but the enemy battleship is dead. We have 2 bases to the enemy's 1. However, they have 2 ships on us, which isn't good. We could easily lose. It's way too early to be complacent. And I'm going to try and work my way towards the center. I noticed that there are a lot of friendly ships that are also forward of my position, engaging the enemy ships. And I need to get closer. I need to be able to put pressure on these cruisers, and I'm just trying to line up a cruiser that is broadside, full speed, predictable. So we lead about 15.5, 16 ticks. That's about 1.5 of the distance to target, and it's right on the money. Unfortunately, the dispersion isn't there, but pretty much all the shells hit in the vicinity, right? We had the right lead, we just needed a little bit more luck on the dispersion. And I see that Marblehead in the background. I really want to kill him. He is within gun range, but it isn't an easy shot. This Alba is much easier. We lead him in the direction, and look, friendly does a big damaging shot. This should honestly kill him right here, and it does. Again, another kill where we didn't do a lot of damage, but I didn't know he was going to take 10K just before my shells made contact. Either way, he's out of the fight. He can't damage our team anymore, and that's just what you need to reaffirm. It is important that you take these targets out. You don't let them survive, and that is the advantage of the Congo at Tier 5. I think it has to have the longest range at Tier 5. I think it has the longest range at Tier 6. Good, the Marblehead's dead. It stands out from the crowd, definitely. It's also very fast. You know, it's 30 knots. I think anyone who says, oh, I don't care about arpeggio stuff, you know what? It's a Congo, and a Congo is a great ship. If you can't afford the standard Congo, this is a free Congo. It's not going to be a premium ship with premium reward, but it's a free Congo. Who could dislike that? And I'm not sure if it's still going on for the other 2, the yellow and the green one. That's just what I'm going to associate with them. They're yellow and green. But if you have any interest in the Congo, and you should, if you like Japanese battleships, you should get it. So, the enemy destroyer was capturing our base. He's not anymore. He uses smoke. He's hiding. We get our counterpart. You know, it's a Congo. It's exactly the same, just a different color. He's going broadside, so we're going to try and get some citadels on his butt. 3K, okay, that's not ideal. The enemy destroyer is back in the capture point. We can't stop him. We don't have anyone close enough to detect him. I can't get that close, and I didn't realize how close I was to the friendly Cleveland. No harm, no foul. We're still alive. But that enemy Cleveland, I would really like to go after him. you notice that Bujoni, that cruiser, he's sort of camping at the southern end of that island. He's just out of line of sight. I can't engage him. Huh, another Arpeggio Congo. And in this situation, you might say, you know, what do you fire on? I don't know. I want them to make a... Ooh, I sort of made a mistake there. I took I took more damage than I should have. Oh, this Cleveland. Look at the Cleveland. He's sort of turning. He's sort of softening. And that's what we want. Aw, man. Cheese and crackers. We should have held our fire there. I mean, the destroyer is clearly a threat. We have to take him out. There's only 3 ships on this flank right now, and I don't want to fight the 5 ships. We got to take the destroyer out first and foremost, and he is the primary. So I'm going to work my way towards him. I don't want to be too broadside, though. This is the phase in the fight where you can make a critical mistake that will lose the game, and this is on a razor's edge, right? I think everyone would agree. Oh, that was close. Everyone would agree. This is not looking good. It's me and a cruiser against 5 enemy ships in the open with 1 hidden. And Congo is telling me, we're taking damage, sir. We cannot afford to take damage. Oh, spotted the enemy destroyer. He's gonna send torpedoes. We're gonna have to take him out quickly. Good, okay, we were accurate with our shot. Torpedoes are incoming. We have to be neutral. We have to fit in. This is basically kill me, telling all the enemy ships we fit in between. Yes, good. Oh, then we might take a torpedo. No, that was... Okay, we're good, we're good. Oh, now we have to re-angle against the enemy ships. We could honestly try and take out the enemy Cleveland. And I would say the enemy team lost a perfect opportunity to do significant damage. Considering how open we were to the enemies, they didn't do that much damage. And I popped my aircraft to try and assist in scouting the destroyer. And come on, kill this guy. I want him dead. Kill him! Nope, he's not dead. Ooh, that was a good shot. And it came from the only ship that had a line of sight. It's that Arpeggio Hanuna. And we're going to use the island, of course. We're going to fire on the Cleveland if he stays in the open. If he's even alive, I think he might actually take torpedoes from the friendly destroyer, which would be great. Nope, he's able to avoid it. Okay, we've got to take him out. He can easily kill the friendly destroyer, and he's out in the open. He can't do anything. This is very important that we get him. Yes! Wow. I can't believe we hit that shot at that range, at that angle. He turned directly into it. It worked out perfectly. And now we could focus one by one. There's a battleship that's on the eastern side of the map. He's behind islands. He can't engage us. The battleship that's south of the B point, he doesn't have line of sight on me. This is the only target that can engage me, and I'm going to fire at the waterline. And it works out there. We still have our friendly up, and we are engaging on our terms. And that's just the way the enemy team deployed in this scenario. They should have just used numbers and overwhelm us. They could easily have taken out my friend. They could probably easily have taken out the friendly destroyer. They could easily have taken out me. But because they're all doing their own thing, neither are able to withstand the teamwork here. So now I'm just in my defensive mode. I'm going to try and do as much damage as possible to the enemy New Mexico while keeping the friendly up. And I think this is the kill shot. Yep, he's dead. I was trying to take out his front guns, force him to change his angling, but that wasn't working out. We could still take out his front guns though, and I intend to do that. I want him to have to slow down and show his side to not only my ship, but the friendly destroyer behind him, and that enemy battleship still cannot target me. We are still manipulating the island to our advantage. It's very important that you do this. It makes it a whole lot easier to engage these ships. And the enemy New Mexico is going after the friendly destroyer. That's fine with me. We're going to continue to fire on his ship. It's not a really good angle. My most important thing here is to try and sort of get it into the superstructure because it's not penetrating the side of his hull at that angle. I also have to realize that, hey, that enemy battleship, the Arpeggio Congo, is going to have range. We've got to angle against him, and that's sort of what I'm trying to do. I angle against one ship while the other is distracted. And he's still firing. Yep, he's still firing on the friendly destroyer. But he has a much softer angle now. I just need to hit the front of his ship, the bow. Not so, like, there's a term for the front of the ship. It's called a bow. I understand that, okay. We got Confederate. We did pretty good damage there. I think we actually destroyed one of his front guns. So he's even more committed against the friendly destroyer than he ever was. And we are still taking very little damage from that enemy battleship because we're so neutral to his position. Man, that dispersion was terrible. Short and long, that's not what you want, but eventually it's going to pay off. And we got about 6K, that's pretty good. Target is still going after the friendly destroyer, and somehow he's surviving. He's doing a great job. He's staying just close enough to being detected, so the New Mexico can't do any... Oh, man, we lost him. Okay, it's 2v1. I have far less health than both of them combined, but that enemy New Mexico only has 3 guns. And he's going to try, I think he's going to... Is he going to pull a tactical Notser? He's going to try and change his angling against me. And okay, that's pretty good considering the angle. You got to... Oh, nice! Man, if he would have continued going straight, he would not have taken that torpedo for 3K. I wonder if it caused a flood. I don't see it, but it could have. He just used damage control on it. And come on, take this guy out. We need him dead. If we really do need him dead, they're going to capture A. It's going to take a while. I still need to maintain good angling against the enemy ships. Yes! Oh, man. There we go. Keep good angling. That's probably the last shot. And the enemy battleship, he was not happy with the outcome of that engagement, but I certainly am. Man, you gotta work so hard sometimes, but it was worth it. We earned Confederate, Kraken Unleashed. We got 7 kills, 102,000 points of damage, 3 citadels, 1,843 base XP, and the destroyer that died right at the end, he's right there with me. He did a great job. All of our damage came from AP, not surprised. I hope you enjoyed these games. The goal was to show you what changed in 0.5.7, but we got a couple kills here and there to help our team win the game. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you next time.